Sent to the future from the year 2000. Checking my mic works. Yeah, okay, good. Checking music is coming through. Okay, here we go. Sent to the future from the year 2000 by a glitch due to the Millennium Bug, I'm adapting to thrive in the peculiar conditions of the 2020s. Join me in a multimedia extravaganza as we surf the World Wide Web, catch up on 2 decades of video games and mess around with creative tools new and old. I'm Millennium Cyborg. Welcome to the new millennium. I spent hours working on some nice little gimmicks for the setup for today. And oh boom, great to see you. Hopefully I can show you something fun in a second. So my network started dying, like my router started dying an hour before the stream when I was going to be setting up games. So what I ended up doing instead of preparing the actual games was rebooting routers and trying different network connections and things. It's all working smoothly now, so fingers crossed. So okay, I have not correctly updated labels. There we go. Let's see now. Alright. I'm going to open a game and we're going to test this out, and I'm going to show off something that was definitely working earlier. Alright, game works. Game order is captured. Okay, I should turn off the music. There we are. Okay, so I've changed. I've been trying to get the multi-PC setup working. I am going to go fast. I've been trying to get the multi-PC setup working with the ray tracing and everything. So okay, I'm gonna quickly show off the gimmick before attempting any serious racing. So we've played this one before on stream. All right.
3, 2, 1.
So this is a ray traced version of something I did before, right? So first of all, I'm on the game screen. I'm not in the right position. Instead of resizing my avatar in OBS, I'm going to change camera. There we go. Okay, now actually what I'm going to do is show you the whole studio. There we go. And then do this. Okay, there's okay. Things have not quite worked. Almost. There we go. There we go. Alright, so this is a totally legit model of a wipeout ship. Don't worry about it. And right now it seems to be slightly in the way of the game. I've got another view right here. But what's this? I've got a camera view here. Check this out. Oh, there's a few manual tweaks here. I'm going to remove the environmental fog. There we go. Get slightly more accurate colors. Alright. So what I'm doing is I'm reprojecting. I'll show it in free cam mode in a moment. I'm reprojecting the game capture onto some geometry with appropriate UV mapping. This is not scientifically determined. I just made a truncated pyramid, kind of like an inverse of a view frustum, and now that I've done that, I can have another view, so I can do this. So now I'm chatting to you, and you're seeing what I'm driving past. It would be ideal if I could completely hide the UI as well, but... So my idea is something along the lines of, like, ideally the microphone would trigger camera changes, so that depending on whether I'm talking or being quiet, the camera could spontaneously change. Because doing it by hand the whole time is a bit tricky if I'm also trying to drive properly. But having it in this sort of view the whole time would be not ideal for you seeing the actual gameplay. Alright, let's see if I can bring this back to a more conventional view. So... Whoa, okay. Yeah, the haze having been removed, now the sky is completely freaky. And I only need that. There we go. So as usual, I spent most of my time on a gimmick that I thought was a cool idea, and not enough time on the basics of preparing for the stream, but there we go. Yeah, I said I'd show off the whole thing. Let's see. Oh, I have so many controls going now on my Steam Deck and Stream Deck, sorry. So we've got a ship model that I scaled appropriately, positioned appropriately for my avatar. I'm glad I didn't have to fiddle with the avatar position like at the beginning of the stream either. And then we've got this inverse frustum that I'm reprojecting the game onto. So the geometry in theory, right, the exact shape of this should depend on the in-game camera field of view. It should depend on the position within the field of view, and even then you can't perfectly reverse the transformation without depth information, but as long as it looks kind of okay from the side and from behind, it's enough for the gimmick to work, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully do more fancy camera switching, automate more things. I think I'll just fiddle with the material itself for the skybox and, well, for the frustum, and make so that it doesn't get affected by the environmental haze in the first place. What else have we got? So I've got I can toggle the glass. Right now it doesn't look, I mean, it's a bit too opaque, and it doesn't look great from inside either. It's only part of it is double-sided, because I didn't alter the model. It's just how I got it, but I could make it look more like a cockpit from inside. And yeah, that's it essentially. But I also built a lot of things that were previously more manual. I made more generic toggleable remote commands over WebSocket that I was able to map. map to my Stream Deck. That's the word. And then the issues I ran into with NDI streaming for some reason, I think the problem is my router actually, because everything else in the end works fine. All right, so we've played this game before. I didn't have time to set up any of the fancier games that I need to set up that still need, you know, like console work and so on. Now, a new thing I need to do is to remember to go to the chatting screen, because I can actually dox myself with this multi-PC setup. Let's see. So I picked a few games that are small downloads I could do quickly. And we also have Redout 2, which I didn't realize had come out. Maybe we should try Redout 2. Let's see if it runs. So this is running on a slightly older machine that's just handling the games at the moment. Let's see if it works. I just installed an extra 8 gigabytes of RAM into this today as well. The game label is wrong as well. There we go. Right, now that it's all working, let's bring back up Twitch chat. There we go. All right. So Redout was one of my favorites so far, although it has been slightly eclipsed by some I played more recently. And I didn't realize Redout 2 was already out until I saw someone mention it on Twitter.
Water, shaped fire, furrowed earth, and trapped the wind. We have crossed space and time. We have always sought control over the elements. Now, we are ready to master the ultimate force. The one that connects everything. Gravity. Will you be able to tame it? Can you resist its power? Welcome
Checking
to the Red Out
attach.
League, pilot.
Hold on. My reflections are incorrect. There we go. Oh, I'm missing all the boosts. The way this game controls is one of my favorite control schemes. Because it uses both joysticks. Let's see. Give me true full screen, 60 FPS max. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it on epic. Seems to run okay. Hyper boost, is that new? Okay, I didn't actually get to try it. Let's do career mode. Challenges. Interesting. Ooh, very interesting. I do enjoy the Wipeout style challenge modes.
Welcome to Vertex, a simulated environment invented by Sveta Savitskaya as her thesis project at Titan University. It's now used as a risk-free way to teach young Red Out Academy pilots how to handle a 2,000 kilometers per hour beast. Even pros use it to test new configurations and racetracks, and to compete for fun outside championships. Vertex is designed to generate a potentially infinite number of tracks.
Is that true only in the game universe, or is it true that actually it generates tracks? I'm sorry, I'm too close to the wall. It wants me to strafe right. I was already close to the wall. Am I supposed to only strafe for these? It's a bit weird as a tutorial because it's giving me some cornering advice, but because I'm not sticking to the racing lane, it tells me to drive right into the wall. So what are the pickups doing? Can't quite tell. I don't have any boost. Sure, let's learn how to pitch the ship up and down. So in fact, you mostly want to pitch up when the track goes up, otherwise you can take damage and lose speed. Whoa! That's new. Pitch up and strafe right. So we've got to pitch down to stick to the track. Otherwise we can actually fly off. Like that. Right, boosting's got to be straightforward, right? It hasn't told me yet about whether there's a good time to start to, whoops, a good time to start accelerating before, during the countdown. Hyper boost, let's see what it is. I guess it's a shorter, more intense boost. Oh, okay, D-pad to roll. We've got a lot of degrees of freedom here. Boost and pitch up. So far, once I've ended up flying off the track, I've not successfully landed again. It is pretty fun. I mean, a lot of the fun in these games comes down to how it feels to control. Whoops, forgot to do the boost. And compared to Red Out 1, it does feel like they've improved on the controls. They're already pretty nice. Oh, interesting. When I'm in overheat mode, it then starts burning off my energy. I need to do the boost in the air right at the beginning. After that, it's too late. Is that, that's not a pass? Alright, let's try again. I can turn on my gimmicks. What happens if I... No. If I try the lighting at the same time, it'll look a bit weird, I think, because the lighting is purely in screen space at the moment. Interesting. The exact camera angle as well, like the elevation of the camera, might need to be tweakable again. Environment is a bit, I guess, a bit sparse for this to work that well, although I think it does still give a feeling of speed. Alright. I see. I've been doing... Okay, that is not gonna land. I've been trying to pitch with the left stick because that's how you do it in Wipeout, I think. Oh, I feel like I had it there. If I don't get it this time, I'll just move on anyway, if it'll let me. Oh, I managed to land once. I almost have enough points. Ah, just missed. Right, that was so close, I will try again. I see, so there's a cooldown on the hyper boost. Oh, it's a shared cooldown, okay. That and the regular boost. Alright, we've got it this time. Thank you. There we go. We got silver. No? Third. I thought we got silver. Oh, I'll take it.
After saving humanity with space travel and terraforming research, ESA created what people will really remember them for: anti-grav magnets. This is where everything started, and this beauty is the mother of all redout ships.
Loadout components. Promotion contest. Okay. Swap ship. Out of power range. Oh, okay. So in the previous game, they had ship classes. Class 1, 2, 3. So you would unlock them from that point of view. So we need to customize to improve our top speed. Okay. This is going to be more complex than the last game. I usually don't like to fiddle with this stuff too much. But it just wants us to upgrade the propulsor there, and we're in the right range. Put the lighting back on now.
Breathe in. Listen to the water, the flowing wind, the sound of leaves. This is Fuji, on the terrestrial island once known as Japan.
Once known as
Calm
Japan?
and spirituality, close to a volcano. Wide tracks and soft slopes float gently on this reborn land.
Interesting. It tells you what corners are coming up. So the previous game they just had big arrows on the track. But now it shows you upcoming turns as well. I tend to... No, I should be boosting more. I tend to not like modern motion blur. But whatever they're doing here looks pretty good to me. It's not... I think the problem I have with a lot of a lot of effects are when they make me feel like my eyes aren't focusing correctly. For instance, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, you can tweak some of the effects, but a lot of the in-game UI is intentionally heavily blurred, and that really hurts my eyes because I'm trying to focus on it, and I get that bit with some motion blurs too. But whatever they're doing here, and I quite liked the effects in Red Out 1 as well. Whatever they're doing here is working well for me. I think all of the blur and effects happening at the periphery of the screen, and the place where I'm looking, right in the middle, still is in focus, which works well. So I've still not made a diagram of my latest iteration of this setup, but it's I'm actually playing the game on a reasonably maxed out 2015 sort of era machine that I dug out of storage, and then the my modern machine is just doing my avatar and studio, and then my laptop is doing OBS effects and encoding. And although I was fiddling with voice meter for sending audio around, I ended up, since I was using NDI for video anyway, I'm just using NDI now to send audio and video between OBS instances and my application as well. Yeah, I'm just like the cool kids with their fancy setups. I'm doing triple PC. Who do I actually know is doing 3PC? I'm not certain. I think Fofamit is. I don't know for sure for anyone else. So the reward, okay, so the reward for the race is going to be customization parts, which works for me. Which one did we get a customization for? Light Spark I've not heard of. I'll have to look them up. I'll be honest, the 3PC setup has been way simpler than trying to do a 2PC setup, which is what I did for one stream. Because then I just have one monitor per machine for a start, and even though the gaming PC is not by modern standards particularly beefy, it can certainly handle 1080p gaming, which is what I capture anyway. Hey Ren, good to see you. So since someone new is in the chat, here's my chance to show off the gimmicks I've been working on. So we've got this. I keep pressing the wrong button. There we go. And then this. So we've got behind the head view. I've been writing commands. I've been writing a little command parser so that I can send Stream Deck commands over WebSocket to my application, and it's, you know, it's that thing where you start saying, okay, well, I'll just accept simple commands matched by string, and then you think, oh well, I just need one parameter for the command, so I'll add a basic you know, tiny little parsing command, and then you start thinking, oh well, I'll just add the ability to send multiple commands on separate lines within one WebSocket request, and then I feel myself on the path to writing a domain-specific language, or command, or like my own little JSON, which is the path to ruin, obviously. So I'm going to have to switch over to just either JSON or actually using OSC if I find a good whatever's easy enough to author on the Stream Deck. Yeah, so this time, right now, the reflection in my glasses are really coming from the environment around me. The only downside of this view is that you can't see the game very well, but I think it looks cool. So my idea is I'd like it to automatically switch when I'm chatting for a while, like I am right now. It would automatically switch to this view, and then when I'm done, maybe, you know, this, I want this to feel like you're sitting next to me in the car and I'm chatting to you, and then it would switch back to a more normal game view that you can actually see what's going on. Bentai, welcome, good to see you. Yeah, it's it looks quite cool, and I'm glad. How it fits into a stream where I'm actually playing games and not just chatting, still to be ironed out. Anyway, hey, Redout 2 is out and I'm finding it pretty fun. In fact, I might just play it the whole stream. Save myself some trouble. Even though I usually do 3. Having to write your own DSL shows you're doing something worth doing. Well, that's how you end up with YAML and TOML and JSON and XML and all the other markup languages out there. And Lua was a configuration language originally as well. Yeah, so I saw that OSC Stream Deck plugin, which is very interesting. I like OSC conceptually, and because VMC protocol, which I use for, you know, sending my motion data around, uses OSC as well. It would be a quite nice unified thing to use OSC everywhere. Oh, this game does wreck the encoding, doesn't it? I remember that being the case as well with Redout 1. It's because it just goes so fast. And yeah, the reflections, I mean, these are ray traced reflections. Hang on. Interesting. Because if I'm doing that, like, I've got two different layers of reflections going on. I've got real ray trace reflections. I'll show how the trick is done actually. Since I've got new people who have not seen it yet. So oh, incidentally, yeah, you get quite fun effects with the avatar masking, depending on the camera view. Oh no, how did I do this? This is correct. Okay, camera behind. Okay, here we go, and then free the camera, and then zoom out of here. So I've just made a an inverse view frustum that I pulled out of thin air, modeled it in Blender, and did a project from view for the UV mapping, which gives me from certain points of view a mostly okay looking view of the game that kind of looks like you're inside the cockpit. And yeah, a totally legit ship model that isn't a game rip from some Wipeout game. But this was kind of thrown together in a few hours. So the upshot of that view frustum is that actually it participates in the, oh wow, you've got right now, you've got some reflections of the game on the ocean as well. Yeah, so all of those reflections right now are real-time, ray traced, RTX reflections. And I'm pretty happy with that. This is something I've been working towards for quite some time, even though there's some, you know, some spit and polish to be done, but I'm doing weird stuff that other VTubers are not doing, at least. Alright, let's try and actually complete a race. Yeah, I've not figured out the optimal time to accelerate at the beginning. So at the moment, the ray traced reflections, the lighting and shading model is based on the one in old school ray tracers like Lightwave, like Bryce. So there's a separate contribution of like mirror reflections, and then a separate contribution of diffuse and of specular. Unlike a modern physically based model where you just have a kind of roughness value, so I guess it behaves a bit like a clear coat. At the moment, the environment, so the ray traced environment, doesn't contribute to the lighting on the model. That's just based on the studio point lights and the direction light for the sun. So that's something to work on. And I'm thinking all I'll do is send out a probe ray normal to the surface off into the environment, and if I hit something special like the frustum, I would then make it contribute to the lighting. I keep forgetting in the original Redout I was using A for the boost, and that doesn't work in this one. I really like you've got a lot of degrees of freedom of control of the ship, but they feel natural quite quickly. Oh, we're very low on health. I've not quite figured out when we regain health. Is it just after not having taken damage for a while? Or is it after a checkpoint? First place, there we go. Oh, there's a 4th star for winning with a 500-meter lead. Alright, so we can customize our stability. There we go. Prove that. Ideally, I'd like to have no sort of
the Egyptian civilization and the new
no
Renaissance.
random
Cairo became the
models
largest city in the
in my
world
scenes,
after the
except things
Waterfront
I've
War.
actually modeled myself.
This city witnessed the
So I do
inhuman
still need to
containment purges
redo my
and the
chair
walled
and
society's
redo this
assault
ship,
before
but
the Exodus. This
for
is
now,
also
this
where
was,
Carl Poseidon, theorist of the Martian colonization, lived and worked. One of the hottest Grand Prix of the league, Cairo's many layers of history blend to maintain its exotic charm.
this is quite a cool looking level. I wonder whether this game even has weapons, because we've not been introduced to any yet. In the first game, the weapons were kind of add-ons, you know, that you could unlock and equip, or you could choose to equip a different power-up, like something that heals you. So it's possible that there are weapons and that we'll encounter them further along. I was actually, I saw a little bit of Jeff Gerstmann's stream. Oh, that I remember now. That's how I even knew the game was out. Steam didn't email me about it, even though it was on my wish list, but I saw Jeff Gerstmann playing some of it. And just watching him play, I felt, oh, it's so much like Redout 1. I thought I might actually be disappointed, but no, it's they've definitely, well, I should play the original a bit, but to compare like for like, but the controls feel good. Feels like they've done some work to them. The tweaks to the graphics and gameplay seem good so far. We've got a new customization. Better steering, okay. And a new hang on. Okay, we can change the power cells, but that's just aesthetic. Great.
This monumental track zips through narrow caverns around the Trident Shipwreck and Faith Town. Named after the Exodus heroine Faith Neumann, this well-rounded track brings in Redout fans from across the galaxy, honoring the incredible resilience of the human race and the achievement of making Mars our home.
I mean, I guess turning a crash ship into a tourist attraction works. Whoa! Okay, I needed to boost for that one. How did I get so far behind, I wonder? I do wish there was a mini-map and rear view mirror in the style of Xenon Racer. I thought Xenon Racer's mini-map and rear view mirror work really well. flying too far. Perfect landing. Still third place. That'll do. You spawn a maximum of 2 times. It expects you to explode quite a lot on that one. This looks like it's got quite a substantial career mode. So we've got enough stars to skip ahead. Shield weekend. So this one is probably 3 races, right? Yes. Temperature hot. I guess you can overheat more easily then. Just for the sake of the stream, I'm going to try and hit like not hit courses we've already done, but that's probably not optimal in terms of unlocking parts. Thank you for the GG. Alright, so this is another points based one and we're aiming for 740 points. How do we get points? It seems to be about boosting. The faster we're going, wow, the more points per second we're earning. But if I look at the points per second, I will not have my eyes on the road. think we might not make it. We've got 30 seconds left. We've only got 439 points. But we can always come back after unlocking more upgrades. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of bits of UI. So we're earning points while we're above 800. So this one rewards us with a colour scheme. A better hull. And some... Hold on. Power cells are just auxiliary. Auxiliary. Trying to figure out which ones give you... Alright, this one actually rewards you with a ship. Let's give it a go. And we've got access to a new livery. Bubble sort. Sure. Not what I'd pick, but since it's the new one, we'll give it a go. I think I'll give these a go and then wrap up for the day, because I started quite late. I've been enjoying the music in the game. It's not the Ballistic NG soundtrack or even Xenon Racer that I quite enjoy, but it's pretty good. Ooh, oh, did not make it. I think you lose quite a lot of time if you respawn, even though it feels like you're respawning quite quickly. It's tricky to get a good landing. Because if you're not quite lined up, you can travel quite far in the wrong direction. Third place will do for now. Are we back in the same race? Did we not do well enough to progress? Okay, we have to manually pick the other one. There we go. Well, I'm glad my network has held up at least. During the stream. It looks like it's... Looks like it was skipping frames while I've got the lighting on. So I might leave it with just reflections. See how it does for a bit. Skipping frames on the laptop. The laptop has a GPU barely good enough to do NVENC, but not much of the fancy stream effects I've been doing. So I'm planning to gradually port the effects into my app instead, where they're more or less a rounding error compared to the compared to the ray tracing. Now I've been using the NVIDIA tools as well as Unity's own tools to try and get a handle on exactly how to improve the performance of the ray tracing. But the NVIDIA Insight tools only give you so much information when it comes to a ray tracing call. So I just get a big, 14 millisecond chunk that just says trace rays, and then the next level down from that is assembly language, and I'm not familiar with GPU assembly or all of the hardware instruction counters and things, performance counters and what they mean, so I can't get a line by line performance cost like I would expect on standard CPU profiling tools. What's what it comes down to is mostly the actual number of rays traced. One common way to reduce the number of rays. I'm running OBS off a laptop for this, because I was having problems with OBS and my ray tracing. OBS uses a lot more than you'd expect for the work it's doing, a lot more GPU, and it also doesn't overlap well. So even when there was in theory enough time per frame for everything to run, there were still some issues. So yeah, the encoding is running on laptop and it's receiving the video over NDI. It's receiving two separate video sources, one for the game and one for the app. And then the game is also being sent over to the app itself to be projected into the environment on render textures. And then separately from that, the only one of my machines that can do the RTX noise filtering that I'm using is the desktop that's running my app. So separately from all that, I've got a minimal OBS instance that's just hosting an audio filter stack that sends over NDI audio to the laptop. So the laptop is receiving 3 different NDI streams. And of course the laptop is connected via Ethernet. You can fit in one NDI 1080p 60 stream takes 150 megabits approximately, so you can fit several of those up or down a gigabit Ethernet connection. What was I saying? One common trick for speeding up ray tracing is replacing the primary raycast with conventional rendering into a G buffer, and then spawning secondary rays only of the G buffer, which means you get in theory you get exactly the same result. I did not do well on that race. In theory you get exactly the same result but far fewer rays cast, taking advantage of the fact that all of the primary rays are coherent in the view frustum. That being said, the primary raycast, as I understand it, is the most efficient precisely because the rays are coherent. So 2 rays, what happens is the raycast gets, batched up into the batches that get sent off to some unit or other, and so if they're all primary rays from the camera, they're all heading in the same direction. They're coherent in the sense that they're heading in the same direction. You're going to hit the same sorts of things, and so you get a benefit of data and instruction and locality as insofar as I even understand those concepts on GPU. But when you come to secondary rays, those will be in much more spread out directions. So secondary rays being reflections, refractions and shadow rays. And there are also more secondary rays than there are primary rays, because a single surface hit will generate multiple shadow rays. One per light source will generate potentially a reflection ray, potentially a refraction ray. For instance, for my top here, it's generating 1 reflection ray, and then at the moment it'll be doing 3 shadow rays, 1 for the sun and 2 for the 2 point lights I've currently got active in the scene as fill lights. So so in that case, what that means is eliminating the primary rays would remove only like 25% of the rays or something. And actually I'm doing more than more than primary and secondary, I'm doing tertiary rays as well. Although the exact accounting varies depending on whether they end up hitting environment or the skybox or models. What's going on? I'll give this one more go, and then we should rank the game and wrap up. I'm thinking about ray tracing instead of focusing on the game. Well, the downside of rendering those primary rays to a G buffer is that you need a completely separate render pass with its own shaders. And you need a more complex ray generation pass that generates them from the G buffer, and you need to define that G buffer in a way that you can encode what matters. There's a potential precision loss. But apparently it is something people do in real engines, so it must be worth doing. In real engines, they actually end up, for any given effect, I've seen slides of people saying like we can only really handle 1 ray per pixel, if that. So maybe no primary ray, 1 secondary ray. And then also use temporal averaging to deal with the fact that you can't cast 1 per pixel necessarily. Hi Saikaku, welcome to the chat. I'm almost wrapping up here. I think I'm running out of steam, but I did really enjoy this game. Let's see how it measures up. Do I have my setup? Yeah, I think I used it last time. I've got Chrome. Bring up Chrome over here. there I am. I spent a while talking there, and I totally forgot I did not have the microphone because I changed setup again since we last used this screen. Well, all I said was, yeah, Red Hat 2, an improvement on Red Hat 1. It seems really good. I look forward to playing more of it. Not quite as good as Ballistic NG, in my opinion. So I think that's a good place for it. Okay, I also have tweaked my raid setup, so I will send you over to someone else. Let's see. I need to tweak my camera position this time. There we go. There I am. I've now got a Steam Deck gadget that shows me who's streaming. F-Zero X, yeah, you know what? There is an upcoming game. I can't remember the exact name right now, but I'm following the developer on Twitter that looks like a really good F-Zero X style game that I'll definitely be playing when it comes out. There are also a few other F-Zero X style games in my Steam list, but those ones are probably not as good a realization. All right, so my little Steam Deck thing is showing me that it gets about 5 characters of people's names who are streaming and a tiny thumbnail. Okay, maybe it's not practical to do things this way. Let's see. Oh, NAF has a collab going on, so why don't we go check them out? So, I feel like the raid experience is still the thing I struggle the most with. So for it to work, I have to go to my own channel. There we go. I am sending you over to Nephilim Blackburn, and she is playing Dokapon Kingdom. Her stream is intended for mature audiences. And with that, it's time for me to go. Thank you so much for watching. If you, like me, have caught the Millennium Bug, make sure to watch the next stream or find me elsewhere on the World Wide Web by clicking on the links below the video. I've been Millennium Cyborg, keep that future vibe, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.